Hey, Leigh.
Hey, Collin.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm fantastic. Everybody, welcome to Collin and the Cow. This is our second podcast of Collin and the Cow. And I thought the first one went pretty well, didn't you, Leigh?
I did too. I thought it went pretty good. I think you should release some of it, a snippet out there.
We are. We're going to.
I was thinking about that. You ought to play the story that I told, but not the ending. You know what I'm saying?
The story that you told.
About the plumbing call. About the guy goes down to the roof and then all of a sudden, cut it off.
Here's Leigh, guys. He's our new master producer, content producer in-house. He does it all. He does everything.
Just about.
Well, Leigh, I wanted to start because I think this is a little interesting, is how you came to be a part of NS4L.
All right,
hold on. We got the coffee here. She almost had it. She would have just been here 2 minutes sooner. She would have had it.
You know,
Well, we'll learn from our mistakes.
Starbucks does take
coffee time.
Hurry, because we're recording.
Thank you.
Dish it out. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'm going to eat this later.
Morning, coffee lady.
Thank you for getting that, though. We really do appreciate it. I just like to give you a hard time.
I know. That one's yours. I changed yours up a little. Thank you. Because what you ordered.
Okay, we're recording. We're not going to cut any of this. We're just going to leave all of it. So, Leigh.
The story of
how you came to New Scooters for Less. Let's hear it. The whole world needs to know.
There might be some of it that you don't know.
How's there a piece of it that I don't know?
Well, there could have been stuff before. You know what I mean? I got here.
Okay.
I'll try to remember everything that I can.
Over 5 years now. You're close to year 6?
No, at close to my 7th.
Close to starting your 7th, finishing your 6th.
June the 21st is when I first arrived at NS4L.
You don't know how to count time is the thing.
Well, let's see. 12 and 6 would be how much?
All right, well, we're just going to move on. Let's go ahead and talk about how you became part of this NS4L team. Go ahead. Give us the lowdown.
I moved to Gainesville in August the 1st of 2010. And I spent the first 2 years working around the house, building a garage, doing all the things around the house. And I finally got tired of working around the house and doing all those things. And I thought, well, I told Pamela, that's my wife, I said, I'm going to go find something fun to do. She says, you don't want to do plumbing again? I said, no, I don't ever want to do plumbing again, really. She says, well, find something fun to do. If you got to go do something, go find something fun to do. So I'm thinking, what could I do? First, I wanted to go to the Harley store, work at the Harley shop in some form or fashion, because I'm kind of a Harley kind of guy. And they didn't have any jobs available at that time. So I looked around and I thought, look at all these scooters. Not exactly a Harley, but it's 2 wheels. So I thought, well, I'll go see if I can get a job doing something around the scooter shops. I fixed everything, cars, motorcycles, raced everything, cars, motorcycles, go-karts, all that in my life. So I thought, well, how hard can it be to fix a scooter? Really, much like a weed whacker on wheels. So anyway, I look into Craigslist, and lo and behold, there's more than one ad for somebody to work at the scooter shop. So NS4L wasn't exactly the first one. So I went to some of the other folks in town and gave my resume and stuff like that. And they said, well, we'll call you. And they never did. Now, I'm a person that believes that I need to be where I need to be. And the doors will open where I need to be. So,
Angela, what are you doing?
I go and fill out an application for NS4L.
Hold on. You don't understand that there's a camera
there is a
recording,
camera watching me?
and you are on your knees at your desk.
Somebody just interrupted my story. Hang on.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know
what she was doing.
I am leaving to go run a couple more minutes to work.
It's fine, but there's also a chair.
We'll get back to the story in a minute, folks.
Stuff under my desk.
Okay.
So where was I? Oh, yeah. So I fill out an application at New Scooters for Less, and lo and behold, they called. They said, come on in, we want to talk to you, and this, that, and the other. So
who called? Do you remember?
I believe it was Tom. I think you gave the word to Tom, and Tom called me. And
hold on, but you had come. Oh,
do what?
But hadn't you come in before that, or no?
Maybe to drop off my resume. And they said, we'll call you. And you must have looked at it. Tom looked at it. Somebody hadn't called me. So I come in, and I said to you, I believe, if you remember, now correct me if I'm wrong, I think I've fixed everything but a scooter, but I think I can help you folks. Now, there was the key right there. That was the hook. I think I can help you folks. So, what'd you think when I said that?
All I remember is thinking to myself, the worst way to go in and get a job is to say, I'm here to apply for your technician job, but I've never worked on a scooter before.
Exactly. I've been here 6 years, going on 7.
I was
folks.
like, well, that's an interesting route to take.
Yeah. Now, as I recall, you said, now correct me if I'm wrong, I got a feeling in my gut that you'd work out pretty good here. I just got that gut feeling that I think this is going to work. Going on 7 years, June the 21st, folks.
Let me tell you guys, this is huge when it comes to entrepreneurship, in my opinion. When you trust your gut 100% of the time, it's right 80% of the time. And I trust my gut a lot. So if I get that feeling and I'm like, all right, this is the right move. And it goes the other way too. There's times where like Mike and Brad have interviewed people and I'll sit down with them for 2 seconds and I'm like, nope. Like it's that fast. Like I don't know what it is. It's just a
being
gut.
able to read people.
An
That's
instinct,
what it is.
yes. And actually, yes. My wife can tell you I can read people really well.
There you go.
Really well. And I think that's paid off big time when it comes to this business.
So I start work there as a technician. When Bryce was there, started from the ground up.
Bryce.
Remember Bryce?
Bryce-ifer, man. I miss him.
And he taught me how to take the scooters out of the crate, put them together, prep them all up, go for a scooter ride. That was real fun. And eventually work on scooters. That's when Robbie was there. Frankly, it was just me and Robbie. That was it. And I think we had a part-time guy on Friday and Saturday. And Bryce was there. I mean, there wasn't many people. Scott would come in once in a while.
How many people do you think we had total then?
That would be 4. Full-time, it would be 3. But we had a part-timer, and then Scott was going to classes, and he would come in part-time. So there wasn't many of us there.
That's kind of incredible to think about if you really think about it. The fact that, 7 years ago, you said?
Yeah, it'll be 7 in June the 21st. It'll be 6, total 6. I'm starting my
6 total, you're starting 7.
Yeah.
So 6 years ago, we only had like 5 people?
Yeah, something like that. There's only 2.
6.
If I remember, there was Summer and Angela working in the front. That was it. Yeah. Well, it wasn't. There was a small company back then at the other store.
So what do you think about when you look at it now?
Oh, it's grown in leaps and bounds. I mean, especially what I've done as far as I went from being a scooter trainee, a scooter tech, to I believe I was there 3 months, June the 21st to September the 21st. I believe that you're going to find 3 months in there, something like that. And we find ourselves at Applebee's going to lunch, and you said, how would you like to be the service manager, Leigh? And I said, sure, Collin, whatever you like me to do, I'm here to serve. And 3 months to the day. And so now I'm service manager. That really didn't come to fruition until about February of the next year. From that September, we actually made the transition after the winter crowd and all like that. So I go to service manager, which I enjoyed doing that, calling, parents and things like that. And did that for a long time. Sit next to Tom and do stuff like that. But that was real good. Then became the move. Then became January of 16, where we're moving into another building over here where we are now. And said, Leigh, you're the one with the construction experience. You got to go over and fix this whole place up, make sure it's right. So that's where I have spent the last, 16, 17, going on 3 years, 2.5 years so far, fixing everything up. And that's where I've been ever since, doing that.
Done a good job.
Fixing stuff that's broken, fixing stuff that's needs to be fixed.
Did you ever think this building would look like this?
I could see it. I mean, when we walked over here and we saw all the mess and all like that, because it was really pretty bad. We've got pictures to prove it, folks.
You guys go to ns4l.tv and watch episode 1 like the first episode, I'm literally giving a tour of this building with mold everywhere. Like, I mean, it was just disastrous. This building was disastrous.
Terrible.
And the fact that we were able to come in and get it to what it looks like today is truly incredible.
It was terrible, but we fixed it all up. It looks great. It's taken a lot of time, and it keeps evolving, and we still find something to do. The table we're sitting behind, I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. So that's my story, how I came to NS4L and what I did when I started and what I'm doing right now. Here I am in a podcast. Who would have thought? Really.
And think about this property, right? When we moved in, and that was July of 2015, right?
June the 1st, I believe.
No, that was like when we all moved in, but
Right.
a year prior, we were leasing
to the showroom.
So we took lease
Right.
in July. We
Right.
flipped that showroom in a month.
Yeah, it didn't take us long to do
We
that.
flipped that showroom in a month, had it open before school started in August of 2015. This
That's
place was
correct.
still a crap hole.
Exactly.
Like all of it.
Right.
And then we moved a few months later. Well, I guess it was almost a year later.
Yeah, it was a year later.
A year
In
later,
June,
we moved
yeah.
everything over here.
That was
And
it.
then we ended up buying the property and taking over all 3 buildings.
And then we could expand and do everything that we're doing.
So, yeah, man, it's crazy. So tell me this, out of your time here, what's been like the best memory?
Well, let me think about that for a minute. I couldn't tell you the best, but I could probably think about one of the best memories. I could tell you my birthday. Every time it was my birthday, I would come in and a whole place where I used to sit would be like you couldn't find it for all the crepe paper and they'd wrap my phone, they'd wrap the mouse, they'd wrap all this kind of stuff. So these are fond memories that I have, and it's that way every birthday or anything like that.
How did it feel to get your mouse back?
But yeah. But we and then the scooter rides, we'd go to lunch. The culture, for me, it's just like, as old as I am around a bunch of young people, it's pretty much fun for me every day. I'll be honest with you. It's fun for me every day. I believe I told you when I went to work here, when it ain't fun, I'm not going to be here anymore. So it's fun. It's always been fun each and every day. I think one of the secrets, and here's a little piece of wisdom from the cow, is find the joy in the day and don't let anybody rob it from you. You know, you can still work and do your job and be filled full of joy and have fun doing it. And don't let anybody take it away from you. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's what I usually do. Have fun, like what we're doing right now.
How do you find joy in the more, I don't want to use, not tedious, but the more like, maybe those people find it fun. Let's say like being a trash man or being a dishwasher, like the more labor intensive, low paying jobs.
I think you can find joy in anything. It's just a way you look at things. That's it. It's your perspective on how you look at things. If you look at it as drudgery and I wished I wasn't here, then you shouldn't be doing it. But I think you can find joy anywhere you are.
Yeah, I talk about Gary Vaynerchuk sometimes, the entrepreneur I follow, and he always talks about, how your stuff is broken if you're living for Friday. You're just counting like it's Monday right now. It's Monday 8 a.m. I was like excited to come in here, do a little podcast. I got a 9 a.m. appointment. I have an 11 a.m. appointment. I have a 6 p.m. appointment. I've been going since 5:30 this morning, and I'm psyched to start my Monday morning.
I'm ready to go.
Like, the fact that people are waking up on Monday morning being like, oh my gosh, not Monday again. Like, that just drives me crazy.
No, if you're looking for a reason to turn around and go home on your way to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you should look for another job. You should find something that you can find the joy in life.
You know what? It actually reminds me of Ronald, right? Because, so all of you that don't know, Ronald is our full-time videographer. He's the one who sets this stuff up. We do have other team members as well. Sorry for the mic blip there. But he came to me because he had saw a lot of the work that we were doing, and we had Austin full time at that time, and And I was just like, man, I wish we could have another videographer. Right. But the truth was, like, it wasn't in the budget. Like, we didn't have the money for another person to start paying another person to do video. Right. And I just remember him coming to me and being like, look, I'm working 24 hours at this fast food restaurant. Like, I'm getting paid $10 an hour. If I could do what I love and make that $240 a week, I'd do it.
Sure.
Right. $240. Like, he's like, $240 to do video, and I'm like, man, that's just not a lot. But that's when I tested him too. I was like, all right, let's see, let's test him and actually see if he'll do it, right? And he did it, and then the opportunity opened up for him to come on full time, and now, like, a lot of people don't know this yet, but we're in the process of developing a media company, and like, dude. There's just, I mean, how much opportunity has unfolded since that moment, like, it just, I don't know. It just, that kind of action inspires me. Just people who will do what they love. And it doesn't matter how much money they're making. It doesn't matter because they're doing what they love.
Who would want to do what they love to do? I mean, really, it's not even work anymore. It's your passion. It's what you love to do.
I mean, I gotta be honest, like, plumbing doesn't sound like the most fantastic thing ever.
Well,
I mean, from my perspective, like, I'm sure, like, if you love it, you love it.
I mean, I didn't love plumbing, but I love what plumbing made, and that was money. I was more attracted to the money. When I saw my uncle, when I was like 14 years old, this is way back when, in the 60s, that he bought a 10-cent cup of coffee with a $100 bill, and he's in the plumbing business, I thought, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
And that was it. It was like the light bulb.
My whole family was in the plumbing business, so it's kind of like, that's where you went. You know what I mean? You went in the plumbing business, and God has blessed me. I've done quite well. I've done quite well.
So many people, it's funny because, would you say it was just that time, like, where the focus was, like, where you're just like, oh, money?
It was money because you couldn't, I mean, it was, I had no real attraction to plumbing. It was, well, what are you going to do, Leigh? And that's a whole nother story. I could have gone several different ways, but it was like, I got tired of going to school. My butt got too big for the seat. So it was just time to do something else. And they said, well, why don't you try this? I used to work during the summers when I wasn't going to school and breaks in the summers with my cousin on my uncle's businesses while they were out in Switzerland or Hawaii buying whatever things they wanted to buy. And we were there taking care of their businesses. So I knew a little bit about it. It was like an internship and the stories and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought, well, I could do this. And so I did it. And one thing led to another to where all my friends were working for minimum wage, and I'm sitting there working for 3 times minimum wage. I could afford a brand new car and everything else. So I thought, well, okay, I could do this. And I'm 21 years old, 22 years old. So
that's interesting, and for me, it was just people are always asking me, so, like, when did you develop this passion for scooters? Have you always been passionate about scooters? Because I think there's a mindset, really, with Harley dealerships or just motorcycle dealerships, you kind of grow up in that trade, right? Like, your parents owned a dealership, or you grew up being around it so much. And I tell people every day, I'm like, nope. I was a college kid that was looking for a full-time job like everybody else because that's what you were supposed to do. And scooters found me. It was like I just recognized an opportunity to help the university solve that transportation problem.
You saw a need.
I saw a need and jumped right into it. I didn't know anything about scooters at that time. Yeah. Now, I would say that I'm a scooter expert, if you will, just because I've spent 14 years developing a company around them.
Put your time in. Yeah, so that's it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, you on Friday, what was it, Friday? I don't know. We were talking last week and you said, we should have a segment called Cow Tales.
Oh, yeah, Cow Tales. Yeah.
The originality of this stuff is fantastic, by the way.
Well, I told you a cow tale last week about that that's a plumbing job that I had. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
Of all the ones I've ever had, little stories or scenarios, that's probably the one that I remember the most.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to pull this from plumbing a little bit,
Okay.
and I hope that you're willing to share this story.
Which one is that?
There's
the guy that called?
No. There's an old school Leigh who was a little bit rougher around the edges, right?
Yeah, probably was that guy a long time ago.
And
he surfaces every once in a while.
okay, and I just recall some story of road rage.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy
And-
that called on the phone while I was doing service writing.
No, but we can save that one for another time. I want to hear like
That's
the
a good
young road rage.
Oh, this is way back before
Way
I was
back.
married. But
Way back.
Oh, yeah.
How old were you?
Yeah, I was probably, well, now, let's see. Hold on, I'll tell you. Let's see. This had to be, let's see, I got married now. I would say now, maybe 40 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe
you're older than I thought you were.
40, 41 years old, something like that.
Okay.
42, maybe. 40, in my early 40s, something like that.
What happened?
I was single, living on the beach down in South Florida, and in the plumbing business. And of course, I had a plumbing van that I recall, and I was with my, guess you could call her at that time, my fiance. We were driving somewhere, going down the street, and I think this is the story you're talking about. And for some reason, I'm just driving, minding my own business, and this car with two guys in it, little bitty car, goes by me. Is this one you're talking about?
I don't know.
Goes by me and flips me the bird. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, what the heck's that for? You know, I don't know them. It's not like a universal hello sign or anything like that. So, yeah, they get up beside me and flip me the bird and get in front of me. Well, I said, I thought to myself, well, I'm not sure I'm real crazy about that. So now you got to remember, this is my wilder days.
Right.
Well, I dropped it down into gear, and I went around them and turned it sideways in the middle of a 3-lane highway so they couldn't get around me. And I threw the door open of the truck, got out of it, and I started crawling up the hood going into moonroof for both of them. And, of course, they shut the moonroof on me and locked the doors and everything like that, and I couldn't get in there. And I called them everything but a child of God, and I begged them to get out of the car, and they wouldn't do it. So they finally figured out a way to get around while I was rolling off the hood, and that was that. Is that the story you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Now, that's just a little bit more intense than the Leigh I am surrounded with on a daily basis.
That's probably really nothing compared to my life, but and I'm not proud of it, but I think like anybody, when you get to be my age, another 30 years, you might regret some of the things that you do if you haven't already. I haven't met anybody yet that didn't have some regrets, but there's some things I wished I'd have done differently. Let's just put it that way.
Did you ever find out why they flicked you off?
Do what?
Did you ever find out why they flicked you off?
No, never did. Never did. But if I had got inside that car, they wouldn't have been able to do it again. I'd have fixed their fingers. I can tell you that. So
you were mad.
Yeah, I was.
Is the summary of that.
I was pretty mad.
What did you learn anything from that moment? I don't even remember why you originally told me that story. Was it
I don't
just
either.
because?
I mean, there's a lot of stories in my life. I mean, you know, as old as I am, but
Maybe it was one of the moments when I had a temper flare. And you're like,
It could have been.
You're like,
I've seen you.
I've been
seen
there.
you. You want to tell everybody about the story? How you went one round with a fan back in the back of the shop?
I
You don't want to tell
can't
them that.
recall what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
2 days later, we had 2 new fans in the shop.
I don't even.
I remember that
what-
distinctly. Now,
I
if
don't
you want to
even
start
remember what
telling
made me that
tales,
mad.
you don't remember that?
I don't remember what made me mad.
Oh, I do. I remember what made you mad.
We
It
should
wasn't so
probably not
much as
talk
what
about
made
it.
you mad as the person that made you mad.
I know who made me
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
It's the same person who made
I
me
don't
mad
even-
all the time.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it could have been anything. But
A long
yeah,
story short,
knocked out that fan
I
one
punched
round.
a metal fan. You know, one of those Like the one that's in the
Yeah,
OSR,
pencil.
the big metal fan. I just went.
Knocked it right out in one round. Next day, we got 2 new fans.
Destroyed it with one punch. Bet you didn't know I could do that.
Now think about that. What you just said to me. Did you learn anything from that?
Yeah, I've learned that I still have that short fuse. It came out last week on one occasion, actually.
Well,
it's definitely my weakness for sure. Like, I'll admit it.
Well, I think
Like-
everybody gets angry. It's how you handle anger, okay?
Right.
It's how you handle it. And how many times have I tell you, here's another little piece of wisdom. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words have meaning. Choose your words carefully.
Right.
That's what
No,
you
I
have
can
to
definitely say that I have that short fuse. I've gotten much better over the years. Much better.
do. You don't think it has anything to do with me, do you, with that calming effect on you or anything like that?
Yeah, we might as well go ahead and give all the credit to Leigh right here. 100%. It's all you.
I know he might come over and knock me out. I'm just going to stay calm.
But I can tell you, our core values help a lot.
Sure they
I mean, just having the team, when those situations arise and having the team say, core value 2, stay calm, scoot on, like stay calm.
I think
stay
we
calm.
both know what the real reason
Like
is.
everybody keeps planting that in my ear, it helps.
I think the biggest help, I think we both know what the biggest help is to controlling anger. And that's the man that we talk to most of the day.
Amen.
Amen.
We want questions.
Do we have any questions?
So if you have questions out there, no, I don't think we have any questions today, but we're going to get people to send us questions. There's so much going on right now with graduation and everybody's getting ready. How about that? Like, everybody's getting ready to graduate. We're going to be busy with summer storage this week. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be coming, dropping their scooters off for summer storage. And then we got to get through the next few months and reach August. So I'll ask a question based around graduation, right? What is just the one piece of advice that you would give to the college graduate? Say that you were standing up on that stage giving that presentation to they're about to hand over those diplomas, and you're in front of the class of 2018 about to graduate and go on to the next chapter of their lives. What's the single piece of advice that you're giving them?
I would say this. If I was standing up there trying to give a little advice to some graduates or something like that, it's kind of like, okay, you've gone to school as long as you can go. It's time to leave. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with the education that you've received here from your time being here in the university? What are you going to do? It's an awkward time because you can't go back to school anymore. You've gone as far as you can go. So now you've got to get out into the workplace.
I mean, you could.
Well, I mean, you can go back for your master's, whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're taking their education and go. Just like our daughter or our son. I mean, they went to school to get their degrees and get what they needed to do. And it was, I reflect on them a lot as to what to do. I would say, hopefully, you have used your years wisely and you've made some contacts, you've networked a little bit, you've interned here and there, you've tried to get your prospect of a job someplace so that you're not just cast out and wondering, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? So preparation, it's not only just going to school and learning, it's networking and trying to make some contacts, like I said, and hopefully have a few interviews all lined up if you haven't already. It's kind of like being in high school. You prepare to go in high school in your junior year, not your senior year when you graduate. So it's kind of like the same thing, I think, in the university and college, that before you graduate, let's line something up and make sure it coincides with the education you've gotten, and it all works out. But I would say this, hopefully that you have taken subjects of something you love. We touched on this last week a little bit, that you want to do something that you love to do. Just like we said before earlier in the broadcast, that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So you've got this education, and hopefully this is something you've just been wanting to do ever since you came here as a freshman in school, that this is something you truly and really just look forward to. I can't wait to go to work and use my education and start my career and my life in the world. But my thoughts are this, that you want to do the right thing. If I had to just sum it up in a few words, I'd say always think. I mean, I would listen. I mean, God gave you two ears and one mouth. So listen to everything that you can before you speak, and do the right thing. Just think about it. Just think. I think a lot of people are just quick to speak and slow to listen. And I would just think, what's the right thing to do? Not what I really want to do, but what's really the right thing to do. If I had to give one short piece of wisdom, that's what it would be. Think of that always. Do the right thing. That's the person you want to be. It's character. It's who am I really? That's who you want to be.
Cool. So I'm going to leave it at that as we wrap this episode up. But I want to tell everybody, send us questions. I think it'll be a lot of fun to get some interaction. We're actually going to have Joanna and Brooklyn in here next time.
All right.
And I'm really excited about that because it'll just make it a little bit more interactive. We haven't had 4 people on the mics yet, and I'm really, really excited to see what comes out of that. But if you have questions that you would like us to answer, send them to me on Snapchat. Send your questions to me on Snapchat for Collin and the cow. Leigh, say what's up.
Moo.
And you can send them to me on Snapchat, and we will get them answered for you guys. And that's it. So Leigh, you want to sign off?
Yeah, let's sign off. But we gotta have a sign off hook. We gotta have something. I'm not sure what it is right this minute, but we just can't say "see you later, alligator."
Bye.
Peace out. I mean, we gotta do something. We gotta.
How about see you next time?
Well,
how about yeah, don't flip them the bird, Leigh.
you can moo while I sing "Happy Trails." Till we meet again.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that's never going to happen.
Okay, it's right off the cuff. What are you going to do?
All right, well.
Thanks for listening to us.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you next time. See ya.
We're out.